Running out of space sounds like a good problem, and it usually is. More customers, more inventory, more staff, more business. The challenge is that growth rarely waits for your lease to expire. One day the space works perfectly, 6 months later inventory is spilling into aisles, parking is becoming an issue, and nobody knows where the next employee is supposed to sit. Today, let's talk about what your options are when your business grows faster than your lease anticipated. I'm Susan, that commercial realtor, built for business, backed by data, negotiating with bite. Check your lease before you do anything, because before we discuss expansion, relocation, or additional space, there is another question. What does your lease allow? Do you have expansion rights? Do you have right of first refusal on neighboring space? Can you assign or sublease part of the premises if your needs change? Do you have renewal options that could affect your decision? The answers are often sitting inside a lease nobody has looked at for years. Before making a move, understand what rights you already have. The lease may provide more flexibility than you think. Do you need more space or just different space? The question I ask every client before we look at a single listing is, do you actually need more space or is it different space? Sometimes a business needs additional square footage. Sometimes they just need more efficient square footage. I've walked through 20,000 square foot buildings being used like 15,000 square feet. Storage stacked wrong, workflow fighting itself, office eating floor space that should be production. The problem isn't always capacity, sometimes it's efficiency. Before looking outside the building, make sure you understand which problem you're trying to solve. So your first option is to expand within the building. This is often the simplest solution. If neighboring space becomes available, you may be able to expand without relocating. The advantages are obvious. Your address stays the same, your staff stays put, your customers know where to find you. Your operation experiences minimal disruption. The challenge? Nothing guarantees that the space will become available when you need it. That's why I talk about expansion rights before the lease is ever signed. The best time to plan for growth is before you need it. Option number 2 is to reconfigure the current space. This option can actually surprise people. I've walked through buildings where the owner was convinced they needed another 5,000 square feet. After reviewing workflow, storage, inventory locations, equipment placement, and the office layout, the answer wasn't another building. The answer was a better plan. Businesses evolve, the way they use space evolves too. Processes improve, technology changes. What worked 5 years ago may not be the best use of that space today. Sometimes the answer isn't moving at all. It's just making the existing space work harder for you. Option number 3, well, that's relocate. Sometimes you've simply outgrown the building. That's not failure, that's success. The business has evolved beyond what the current property can support. The mistake I see is waiting too long. Many businesses start looking after they've already run out of room. Now they're making decisions under pressure. Pressure rarely improves decision making. Ideally, you're evaluating options 12 to even 24 months before the space becomes a problem, because growth leaves clues. Pay attention to them. What do I look for with my clients? When my clients tell me they're running out of space, I don't immediately start searching listings. I start asking questions. What's driving the growth? How much growth do we expect? What does the business look like in 3 years, 5 years? Is this temporary growth or permanent growth? And finally, are we solving today's problem or are we solving tomorrow's problem too? The goal isn't finding more space. The goal is finding the right space for the next chapter of this business. Running out of space is usually a sign that something's going right. The question is whether your real estate strategy is keeping pace with your business strategy. The businesses that navigate growth most successfully don't wait until they're out of room. They start planning before pressure arrives, because the most expensive time to make a real estate decision is always when you don't have a choice. If you're in Burlington, Halton, or the GTA and you're already feeling the squeeze, let's talk before that pressure makes the decision for you. If this video helped you think differently about growth, expansion, or planning for your next move, subscribe for more commercial real estate insights designed for business owners, investors, landlords, and tenants. If you found value in this video, give it a like. If your lease isn't expiring for a few years, save this video anyway. There's a good chance you'll need it sooner than you think. I'm Susan, that commercial realtor. built for business, backed by data, negotiating with Byte. Now that you know your options, what are you going to do about it?